shortly about the team, and then each coach has been given one award to give to a player on his or her team. Okay. So with that, here's Mr. Dixon.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to echo a little bit about what Mr. Holloway said. The reason we do middle school sports is for you guys. That's the reason that we all, the administrators, the teachers, your coaches, the ADs, that's why we fight to keep middle school sports is for you guys. We want you all to have an opportunity to do what you love. One of the things when I reflect back on all of your seasons is not how many you won, how many you lost, how many points you scored, but the way you represented Mustang Nation. You all carried yourselves with class and character throughout every season, and that's what I'm most proud of as a principal, and I know your parents are proud of that and your coaches are proud of that for the way you carried yourself. I also want to give a big thanks to Coach Holloway. He takes a lot off the plate. He does a lot of planning behind the scenes, works with our district sports department. We actually are fortunate today to have our middle school athletic director, Ms. McCoy, in the house. So we thank her for all she does for middle school sports. Today's a real special event. It's one that none of us, me and none of you all, have gotten to do. We haven't had a middle school sports banquet at Meadowlark in the 3 years we've all been together, for those of you that are 8th graders. COVID took that away from us, and we're excited to give it back to you all today. It's a special event. It's something y'all have worked hard for all year. And so I hope throughout the awards presentations that you're respectful of your classmates, your teammates, and the adults, because you've all worked extremely hard. So with that, we're going to give it back over to Coach Holloway. Congratulations to all of you all on a great school year and athletic seasons.
All right, at this time, if I can have the girls softball team come up front, please. Coach Brown.
Before I get started, I just wanted to take a minute. This is my first year coaching softball. Kevin Parker also was a huge help this year. He knew a lot of the ins and outs of softball and was a crucial part of our team's success this year. So I just wanted to make sure I thanked him first. Softball was an interesting season. We started off the first day of tryouts with not enough people to make a team. So then a lot of the girls that are up here went and recruited, they made posters, they found people, they begged people. We had enough for a team. Going into the season, my motto was, let's just have some fun, let's just try to get through it and just see what we can do. A lot of the core girls, the same ones that really got people to come out, they're like, no, that's not enough, we want to win. And they did, they went out, we won some games, and we actually qualified for the playoffs. So that was really impressive and that was all of them and their hard work this year. They came to practice ready to go, and it was a lot of fun coaching softball for the first time. For my award this year, I had one girl who we relied on every game after game, and she, as the year went on, she got stronger with her pitching and her accuracy, and really helped us get to win a bunch of games, and that's Miley.
All right, thank you, girls. All right, if I could have the baseball team, please. Boys baseball. Coach Bill.
So I've had the pleasure to coach baseball for a few years now, and I've gotten to know some of these guys over a span of 3 years. I'm really, really excited that we even had baseball this year. Was nervous we wouldn't do it. I remember the first day of tryouts was, I think, like the first week of school, right? And then so after the first day of school, I got COVID and was out for 2 weeks, and I had no idea like what our team would look like. And then I showed up, and these bunch of jokers were there. But we finished, I believe we finished 10-2, made the playoffs, beat Clemens, what was it, 17-3? So that was nice. But there are, and each one of these kids are special in their own way, multiple ways. But they all bring something to the team that was very, very, very valuable. But I'm going to recognize 2 people today. And the first person is an 8th grader who's going to get our Heart Award. And he's a kid who never ever quits. Like no matter the score, he still sees like a situation where we could win in his eyes. He always makes sure that the team spirit is lifted when they're coming off the field. Very, very vocal, and that would be Drew Collins. And my second award, we're going to do something a little unique. So this is a player who I vividly remember as a 6th grader coming out to baseball tryouts, and he was in left field, and he would not shut up, like would not stop talking. I had to tell him like several times, hey, you need to focus. Like if you want to make a team, like you need to focus and pay attention. And then this year, he led our team with a ridiculous 750 batting average. And this is something that we're going to try to continue to do because I think it's a special way to do it. But I want to give out an award for the highest batting average, and that goes to Riley Wall. Thank you.
Thank you, boys. This ought to be good. Can I have the boys soccer team and Coach Wham?
I've been sweating for an hour now. I'm nervous. Soccer was a great year. We had a really young team, but very talented team. My job was really easy this year because they worked really hard. As a coach, it's always easy when you know your players are going to show up and put in work. You're not going to have to motivate them. They're self-motivated. I'm really looking forward to how we're going to do in the next couple of years. I think we have a lot of good young talent. We're definitely going to miss our 8th graders. Speaking of 8th graders, for our player of the year, this particular player has been with us for a while now. Very dependable, versatile player that could play multiple positions. This year he really stepped up into a leadership role and team captain and kind of carried the team for us this year. So that being said, our player of the year is Adam Cowell. Yeah!
Thank you, boys. All right, this time if I could have the girls and boys golf team. Girls on one side, boys on the other. Coach Cool.
So golf is a season we didn't even know for sure would happen this year. Beginning of the year, Coach Holloway and I were just kind of trying to figure it out. We didn't even really have a place to practice. It was a super short season. We only had 3 matches, only had 1 practice, I believe, tryouts and 1 practice. So didn't really get to know these kids as well as I normally do, but we did have a good time out there. They did a really good job. We didn't really keep score that much as overall in the matches, but I know we won the first match over at Tanglewood, and then after that, I never really got to hear the rest of the scores. So starting with my girls, only had 5 girls this year, but this girl played number 1 for me all season. She's small, but she's really good. Can't wait to see what she does as she gets bigger, can hit the ball farther. And the girls' golf award goes to Savannah Purdue. Then for the guys could have gone to just about anybody on the team. This was a great group of guys. I could have like just kind of interchanged them from 1 to 6 just about. This guy, he's quiet, but he's a very good golfer. I was always anxious to kind of move around the course and see what these guys were doing. So my guys golf award goes to Will Zapaka. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations. All right, if I could have the girls and boys cross-country teams. Girls on one side, boys on the other.
Our male cross-country award goes to an athlete who always had a positive attitude at practice and at meets. Each week he took advice and suggestions and worked hard to give the best he could at each meet. He worked each meet to gain and keep his finishing spot to earn the team points. He set a great example as a leader. In our cross-country championship meet, the boys finished 4th out of 15 middle schools. He was one of 2 to earn a spot on the all-county team made up of the top 21 runners. The cross-country male athlete award goes to Matthew Richardson. Our girls cross-country award goes to an athlete who was one of many great team leaders and encouraged everyone, including those on the other teams. She always had a positive attitude at practice and at meets. Each week she worked hard to give her best in practice and at meets. She used the other competitors to push her to gain places in each race, earning the team points every meet. In our county championship meet, our girls finished 2nd out of 15 middle schools, and she was one of 3 to earn a spot on the all-county team made up of 21 female runners. This athlete has been one of my right-hand girls this year. The Girl Cross Country Award goes to Addie Mitchell.
All right, at this time, if we could have the girls volleyball team, please. Girls volleyball team.
Hi, ladies. All right, listen up, please. We had an exciting season in volleyball. It seemed like it was a really long time ago. Didn't it seem really long ago? COVID threw us off of our game towards the end of the season, so we didn't really have the record we had hoped for because we were missing both of the head coaches at that time. Because I had COVID and Coach Brown had COVID, and so that left poor Mason Hughes to just carry the weight of both of the teams. So we didn't have the record that we had hoped for, but that win over Louisville at the very end, at their place, was so satisfying. That was awesome. We were so excited to beat Louisville. I'm sorry to lose so many of the 8th graders to high school, but wish you guys all luck in high school, on and off the court. This award today goes to an athlete that was dependable on and off the court, reliable on the court with spikes, serves, and consistent passes. If I needed a stand-in setter, she was willing. If we needed a lot of points from serves, I knew that she could get it done. This athlete also picked up her teammates, led stretches, and kept everyone cheering on the bench. I look forward to having her back next year. My coach's award goes to Aurora Rosa. Thank you, ladies.
All right, boys volleyball.
The boys volleyball team this year was a lot of fun to coach. As you can see, they come out with energy every single day. Volleyball is always fun because most of them have played before but not really organized. So it's fun teaching them some of the fundamentals of volleyball. For my award this year, I looked for someone who was a team player, looked for someone who went above and beyond and did extra things. This young man would play anywhere that I asked him to play. Sometimes he probably wanted to play more than I did play him, but never complained, worked hard, and was a good influence on the rest of the guys. My volleyball award goes to Gabe.
Thank you, boys. Thank you, Coach. All right, I'm going to flip a little bit from the thing. If I can have the JV girls basketball team, please, and Coach Black.
First of all, I'd like to say that I'm proud of all of these young ladies standing in front of me. They all brought something to our basketball team, whether it was their leadership, whether it was offense, defense, or just being a cheerleader. I definitely had a team full of incredible young ladies, and I'm proud of all of you. We all have dreams, but in order to make dreams come into reality, it takes an awful lot of determination, dedication, self-discipline, and effort. So my coach's award goes to the young lady who, no matter what, every practice, whether we were running 10 laps or maybe 20, she always put in the best effort. She was a little hard on herself, but that's only because she always wanted to give her best. So the coach's award for JV basketball goes to Allison. Thank you.
All right, if I could have the JV boys basketball team.
All right, guys. I've been accused of being long-winded before, so I'm going to make this short and sweet and to the point. It was a fun year with you guys. We had a lot of fun. The boys never gave up, no matter what the score was. We won some games that we shouldn't have, and we lost some games that we shouldn't have. But they never gave up, and I'm very proud of all of them. I'm very proud of the effort that they gave, no matter their age. And thank you guys for a wonderful season. Very proud of you guys. My award is for JV MVP. This person always worked hard, was never scared to take the big shot. was always did what I told him to do. Was never worried if I had him or wanted to do something out of the ordinary. He was never worried about doing it. I was never worried about him in the classroom. He always took being a student athlete seriously and knows what it is to be a student athlete. And my MVP award goes to Alonzo McCoy.
Thank you, boys. All right, if I could have the varsity girls basketball team.
This season. We missed some games for that week of snow we had back in January, and we thought there would be some cancellations for COVID, but we all stayed well. The refs got mad at us some games because we had masks on and didn't need masks or wouldn't wear the mask up right or whatever. I'm glad that's not an issue anymore. But we pushed through. It wasn't until we were in the midst of playing Jefferson at home that we realized we were in a position to possibly make it to the playoffs. I went from coaching the game to coaching the game because Holloway was like, hey girls, if y'all win this, you can go to the playoffs. I was like, what? Why didn't we know that till just now? So we won that game and made it to the playoffs. We easily beat Southeast and made it to the big dance at North Forsyth High School against Louisville. They came out ready to win, we came out ready to play, but their relentless speed and drive kept them on top for much of the game. It was a disappointing loss, but I was proud of all of you guys for the effort that we made and for making it that far. My award today goes to a versatile player who is quick down the floor, powerful on the block, hard-nosed on defense, and a teammate favorite. She was always willing to go in the game whether I needed her as the point guard or a forward on the block. If you know much about basketball, those two players wouldn't actually play the same position, but she could. She was up for anything. Her willingness to be a team player and hustle in every aspect of the game is what makes this athlete the recipient of my Hustle Award, Brooklyn King.
Thank you, ladies. If I could have the boys varsity basketball team.
This should give you some insight into this team. So they have to do things differently, and here it is. So Josh, everybody show your shirt. Josh is different. Okay. We were worried about COVID all year, like Coach Grove said. We did have one game, we were about to get on the bus, walking to the bus, and Coach Holloway comes over and was like, y'all aren't playing. So that's the only game I think that we lost to COVID. We had some awesome games. Louisville in particular stands out, a big comeback against Louisville. And these kids never quit, and we had a lot of close games, some fun games that we were a part of. It's a really young group, very talented young group, but I'm proud of each and every one of them because each of them did something different that helped bring us success. But I want to recognize one player in particular, extremely fundamentally sound player, 8th grader, has been, I'm pretty sure he sleeps with the basketball. I would not be surprised if that's something that he does. But he was always quick to give his tidbits and advice and try to lift up his teammates. Very unselfish player, and that would be Brandon Warren.
Mr. Dixon's going to make fun of me. Hang on, guys. We don't get to say this very much at the middle school level, but can I have our state champion cheerleaders and our state champion coach? That'll be $5 every time I say it.
Come on, Brandy. So these ladies that are standing in front of me, plus the ones that are not here, simply just amaze me this season. As Coach Holloway said, we are state champions. We competed in the North Carolina Cheer Coaches Association State Championship, and we won the game day division for middle school. All 14 of these girls, it was the first time I have ever coached any of them. Some of them, it was the first time they have ever cheered, and they have grown leaps and bounds since I met them back in September. I am so extremely proud of them, and the girls that are in 6th and 7th grade, I hope that y'all come back next year because we have so many things in store for y'all. But my award that I am giving out today I'm giving out as my best all around. This young lady, she can do it all. She can flip, she can tumble, she can fly, she can cheer, she can jump. She is just pretty darn good. And that is very impressive for a 6th grader, and that is Miss Kate Lester.
Thank you, ladies. All right, if I could have the boys and girls track teams.
We were looking forward to this track season after being shut down from COVID 3 seasons ago. Going into the season, most of these athletes had not competed in a track event until this year. We had one athlete who earned 3rd place medals in both the 1600 meter and 800 meter race at our county championship meet last week, Lily Bach. I am proud of each of these athletes for the time they put into learning how to compete in each of their events. Our male track award goes to an athlete who works hard each week to always give his best. He shows up with a positive attitude at practice and at meets, and ran one of the more difficult events, the 400 meter, and always strived to beat his time. He never complains about the workouts they are to do in practice, on the weekends, or the events he's asked to run in a meet. He sets a great example as one of many leaders. The Male Track Athlete Award goes to Preston Flowers. Our Girls Track Award goes to an athlete who is one team leader that was always bubbly and brought a great energy to the team. She always encourages everyone, including those on the other teams, from the sidelines. She asked for advice at practice so she could improve her form or handoffs. Her determination to always do her best showed in our last regular season meet. She held off a girl almost an entire lap of a relay, giving our team the push we needed to take 15 seconds off the relay time, winning that event. This athlete was one of several girls who helped make sure we got times each meet and would make note of things that we needed to work on at the next practice. The Girls Track Meet Award goes to Megan Koff.
All right, if I could have the girls and boys tennis teams. Boys and girls tennis teams.
So we got a really good tennis season this year. Again, another short season. We only got 5 matches in, but we went 3-2 in those matches. First in the season in a few years. Last time we had tryouts and then we went home. So first time we've been able to have a tennis team in quite a while. I enjoyed coaching these kids and look forward to some of you guys coming back next year. So I'm going to start with my girls tennis award. This girl played number 1 for me all year, played against much bigger girls most of the time, but only lost 1 match. Girls tennis award goes to Taylor Nguyen. My boys tennis award, this guy, again, played number 1 all year, never even got really close to getting beat all year. Love to see what he could do in a tournament, just see how he did against some of the other kids in the county. My boys tennis award goes to Braden Neal. Thanks, guys.
All right, girls soccer.
So this is the first year in a while that we've had soccer. COVID kind of got us the last 2 years. We started tryouts and it was right in the middle of tryouts and we got cut. So we didn't have a team for the last 2 years. So trying to build a team from the ground up was a little hard, especially with the first day of tryouts with your goalkeeper decides to break her arm. But we love her. Every time that we started, with momentum, it would get rained out. We wouldn't get a practice. So it was a tough season, but we ended up 7-2 for the year. Just barely making missing the playoffs. The girls played hard all year long. They did everything that I told them to do. No matter what the weather was, if we were in here in the gym, they were in here playing and doing what I needed them to do. So I'm very proud of them for everything they put in. When we had the opportunity to play full strength, what did we do, ladies? We beat Jefferson. We beat Jefferson, okay? The best team in the conference. Slight jab at our principal. Great job, ladies. Wonderful season. Thank you for letting me be in your coach. I definitely appreciate that. The 2021-2022 MVP for ladies soccer is going to go to a lady who scored 20 times on the season. 20 times. She had a 2.2 goal per game average, 5 assists on the season, was the team captain, was the 2021-2022 boxing champion, the 2021-2022 dodgeball champion, and if it doesn't give it away at that point, and my personal hero, the 2021-2022 MVP for girls soccer is Ella Fergus.
right, congratulations to those so far that have received awards. Again, we appreciate everything. As we get to the end of our award ceremony, our awards get a little bit different. We are introducing a new award this year. We have our Athletes of the Year award, and then we have our Ben Miller award that we always end with. Okay, so our special award. Thanks to Mr. Dixon, we did some talking and we did some thinking, and we came to a pretty awesome conclusion. With our special award, it means a ton to me. Again, both for the child, the athlete, and the person that it involves. It's brand new, and again, if I get upset here in a few minutes, just bear with me. This award is named by a person I hold very high respect for. He loved his school, loved his students, and he loved what Meadowlark stood for. And he loves Mustang Nation. Person receiving this award, I'm going to describe a student athlete that has exhibited Mustang spirit since day one walking in this building. She's driven by her passion, a passion that honors the Mustang Nation and honors all the students that have walked these hallways, past and present, just like Mr. Francis. Mr. Francis continues to be involved 10 years after retiring, continues to be a mentor of mine, a friend of mine. Our Marvin Francis Award goes to Abby Thomas. We love you, Abby. All right, as we move on to our Athlete of the Year, again, these were voted on by coaches, talked with administration, just to make sure that we got all the information that we're looking for. So, describe what it means to be an Athlete of the Year at Meadowlark Middle School. He or she displays sportsmanship, respects coaches, officials, opponents, and her teammates. He or she displays commitment towards both practices, games, and continued improvement. He or she displays positive attitude and enthusiasm for their sport, on and off the field or court. He or she displays toughness, both mental and physical. Has a strong work ethic, teamwork is a must. He or she displays focus and discipline. And he or she displays perseverance, overcoming challenges. Life is tough. First, I'll do the girls. Again, I'll give it away very quickly. Probably wonderful student, straight A student. I've never known her to be in trouble the 3 years she's been here. She has a very, very promising future. And when I say this, it's the first person that's been on our campus that has had a college offer while in 8th grade. Our female Athlete of the Year is Gina Baskerville. Again, I'll give it away as well. Coach Bell did a great job embarrassing him. I won't embarrass him too much. Started off, I showed him a picture that I had from 6th grade. Again, Riley Wall batted at 750. Played on our volleyball team. Ended up being one of our top volleyball players. And then he said, why not? Let's give basketball a try. And did pretty daggone well. Listened to his coach. Respected by his teammates. So our male Athlete of the Year, Riley Wall. 15 more days of Harry. Oh. At this time, again, I would like to, we're going to announce our Ben Mill Awards. Again, Melinda is here. Again, I thank you guys again for what you did back in March. And I'd like to call Mr. Francis, Marvin Francis, to
Thank you. First of all, I do want to thank Mr. Dixon, the staff, Mr. Holloway, athletic staff, for inviting me back. This is an award that's very dear to my heart and means a lot to the school and to the people who receive it. And so it means a lot to me, so thank you very much. When you name an award after someone, that person must have been pretty special. Ben Miller was that special person. Ben was a student here, and I had the pleasure to be one of his teachers. Ben was the student you wanted to see every day. He had a great attitude and an awesome personality. He always did what was asked of him, and he never complained. Every day that I saw Ben, it was a good day. I think of Ben often, and I still miss him after these 20 plus years he's been gone, especially this time of the year, but it's great to honor his memory when we present this award. The outstanding characteristics that he exhibited are the basis for this award, so I'm sure the recipients are well deserved of this honor. So this time, the first recipient of the Ben Miller Award goes to Slade Schott. And also the winners, if I could ask you to hang around and meet Ben's mom and his grandfather that are both here, that would be great. And the other winner for the Ben Miller Award goes to Connor Lynn.
Again, to wrap things up, in the end, I would like to address everybody. Be proud of being part of the team, no matter your role. Continue to always work hard and always believe in yourself. And again, before we leave, thank you guys for making it possible. Thank you, parents. And last but not least, well, Mr. Dixon, but last but not least, coaches, I really, really appreciate your hard work and getting us back going this year. Thank you.